Hey, I'm Joe Holmes and welcome to the Artist Way series on Shallalla's YouTube channel. And we've been doing the Artist Way and we've come to week 4. And week 4 there's a really big task and it's reading deprivation. And me and Shallalla have both found this task very difficult. Shallalla, would you care to explain how you found the task?
I would. Thank you for putting it like that. It was really difficult. It's today's Sunday, and I started the reading deprivation on Monday, so I'm good now. Having done the task 9 times before, I already know that week 4 is happening, so I came prepared. And I have to be honest, I was really looking forward to it because I knew that I was going to do a social media deprivation. And social media is such a hard thing for me because I live like of the applause, and applause in times of the internet are likes and comments. It's not a very healthy thing to do, like to check your phone first thing in the morning to see how many likes your video got.
You're right. Yeah. And I remember when I read the chapter,
Yeah.
you messaged me, you said, let me know when you've read it. And
Mhm.
and you know how I was going to react already. And I
Yes.
had, the first thing that came was excuses. And then what came to me is sort of, right, what's going to help? What's going to help me? And I thought, social media. And exactly the same as you, I live for the applause, but that's really poisonous. And I remember you said in a voice message, social media is poison. Then you said, actually, no, that's really strong. I shouldn't say that. But it is poison. And I think the way that poison works is that it's only toxic when it interacts with us. And so
Yeah.
social media itself might not be the problem, but we need that detox.
Yeah, I know you well enough, or actually, I don't know you that well, but I know you well enough to know that a reading deprivation would cause the reaction that it actually caused. And so I was
Yeah.
looking forward to that, and I was really curious to see how you'd handle it. And then I was surprised because I found myself kind of panicking. I'm listening to an audiobook to fall asleep. I will not be able to fall asleep without listening to my audiobook, but I'm not allowed to listen to my audiobook because it's reading like in a strict sense, and I'm exaggerating just a little bit. It's really interesting because we are holding on to our right to keep our head crowded.
Yes, and I feel like we build those prison bars around our heads and around our creativity, and we
Yeah.
hold on to those bars. We're like, no, we need them because we feel secure within these bars. And although Julia Cameron, I think, speaks from a place of privilege when she says, like, you can cut these things out, but obviously I remember you said you couldn't because you had exams, and I couldn't because I needed to write an essay that week. But apart
Yeah.
from that, we were using excuses about different bars around us, saying no, we can't take those out because then our freedom, our creativity can get in. And I think that's true. And I think you sort of said in one of the voice messages to me, you said, yes, Joe, but that's too many excuses now.
Yeah, it was. I was listening to you and I felt everything that you said, and all your reasons were valid. Of course, you're at university, you're studying creative writing, of course, you have to read. You said a couple of times, it's just a week. And that was something that was really helpful to me. It's like, it's just a week. You can do this for 1 week. It shouldn't be that hard. I'm active in a lot of Facebook groups regarding the artist's way. And there was somebody who posted, I finished week 3 and I skipped to the tasks of week 4 immediately. I skipped the reading deprivation. And people were like in the comments were like, smiling, giving him the haha reaction, and yeah, I'm with you, buddy, and that's the right way to do it. And I thought, yes, everybody is struggling with this damn task, and there is a reason why it is in there. If it is like
Yes.
if you look at the subtitle of the book, A Course in Discovering and Recovering Your Creative Self, it makes a lot of sense to first of all break a habit like listening to an audiobook every single night. That makes a lot of sense. And it also makes a lot of sense to have more of your own thoughts and less of other people's thoughts. I think, and I might be wrong, but I think the task is to have room for yourself, for your own thoughts. And you can only do that by cutting out everything else.
And I feel like, people can see the wording of the task and they think it goes back to that sense of being a child and being told you can't do something. You feel like, I want to do that, let me do that. But instead of thinking what you're being told not to do, think about what that allows you to do. And, I was very sceptical, and you heard me be sceptical. But it was funny, my internet actually was down at the same time as I deleted the social media apps. And I found that I went back and I wrote on my novel for the first time in ages, and I sat down and I typed. I didn't type much, but I did it. And I sort of gave myself the room to do it. I gave myself the rental room, because instead I couldn't go on my phone and consume content. I couldn't go and consume the news. I just had to consume what was in my head.
I'm celebrating that you have been writing on your novel. That is totally amazing. That's really, really, really great.
And what do you think? What have you been able to do more of since doing the reading deprivation?
Well, I did the artist date. I recorded the song in the found location. That took a lot of room because I needed to edit the vocals, edit the video. So that kind of kept me busy for much of the freed up time. But I tried to be more in the moment. When I was with somebody, I tried to listen more to them. That was my way to deal with the reading deprivation or the social media deprivation. Try to be more present.
I'm going back to what that person said, that they skipped it and they cut it out. I think that's really unhealthy, because I think even if you're scared to do the full thing, or you don't want to, or you can't, then cut something out. Do a little bit of it, because it's better than doing nothing. And I think Julia Cameron, although she says don't do it, it's only a week. If you're not going to do it at all, it's better to do a little bit. And listening to other people is something I'm really conscious of. And I got some, because I feel all the time overwhelmed by how much I'm taking in, all the responsibilities I'm giving myself, all the messages on my phone, everything on social media, everything on the news, everything. It just makes my head want to explode. And so cutting that out, I thought, well, I need to take, what should I take in instead? And you're right, listening to others and having meaningful connections. I remember the days I did that is I went on a dog walk, and I stopped and I paused my music, and I had better conversations with the people I saw. And I went and sat with my sister, and I sat in my sister's room writing poetry and talking to her and listening to what she was saying and sort of making notes. But I feel like we're not always present, and if we are present, we don't always take in the right things.
I love that. It's really beautiful. And I can just, like, the image of you being in one room with your sister and talking and writing poetry, that sounds so beautiful. And yeah, I wonder if that would have happened if you had all the apps on your phone.
It wouldn't.
And actually, that was something that helped me a lot. To be honest, I don't want them back on my phone.